The river had spoken. Silence fell over the compound like a heavy, wet shroud. The brothers, Jude and Chuka, didn't wait to see if Adaugo's belly would swell. They didn't wait to see if the water would take her. They were already back in the mansion, counting the gold, dividing the inheritance before the mud on their boots had even dried. But as they crossed the threshold, the air inside the house felt different, thicker. The luxury they had craved suddenly felt like a trap. The gold-trimmed mirrors didn't reflect the sunlight anymore. They seemed to drink it. The brothers laughed, pouring more of Obina's cognac, trying to drown out the sound of the river that still roared
it happened.
in their ears.
Jude stood before the grand mirror in the foyer, but his reflection didn't move when he did. The reflection stayed still, its eyes dark and hollow, watching him with a pity that felt like a curse. He tried to run, but his feet felt heavy. He looked down and gasped. His shadow, the dark silhouette that had followed him since birth, was peeling itself off the floor. It was detaching from his heels like wet paint. Across the room, Chuka's shadow was doing the same. These weren't just shapes of light anymore. They were witnesses. They were the spirits of every greed-filled thought the brothers had ever whispered. The shadows walked into the corners of the room and waited. Because how do you run when your own soul has left you behind? Then came the egrets. Hundreds of white wings, bright as bone, filling the hallways. They didn't fly. They drifted like ghosts through the library, through the kitchen, through the master suite. The wealth of Chief Obina began to refuse the brothers. The cognac turned to salt in their throats. The silk sheets felt like barbed wire against their skin. The money in the safes turned to dry, dead leaves. The mansion wasn't a home anymore. It was a courtroom. And then the front doors swung open. No one pushed them. The wind didn't blow them. They simply moved as owner. Adaugo walked in. Her head was still bald, her black wrapper still damp from the river, but she didn't look like a widow. She looked like a storm that had finally reached the shore. Behind her came the 6 daughters. They didn't walk, they marched. Their footsteps didn't sound like the patter of children. They sounded like the low, rhythmic roar of a pride of lions moving through the tall grass. The brothers were found huddled in the corner, clawing at walls that offered no exit. They were gone before the sun set. Not dead, but erased. Disinherited by the very earth they tried to steal. Adaugo walked to the head of the mahogany table and sat. She didn't need a will. She didn't need a son. She had the roots. The story didn't end with a funeral. It ended with a kingdom. Because the land knows its mother, and the shadows